They buried him in silence, laughed when he disappeared, thought he was done. But they forgot. Real kings don't quit. They reload. And now, he's back. Sharper, louder, hungrier. This isn't a return, it's a reckoning. No begging, no second chances, no mercy. He's here to take it all. Because when the crown slips and the fire fades, only the fearless rise again. And this time, he's not leaving with less than everything. They think silence means weakness, that when you go quiet, you've given up. But they have no idea that silence is where the real beasts are built. Disappear to dominate isn't just a clever line, it's a war strategy, an emotional weapon, a rebirth plan masked behind shadows. When the king steps away from the world, it's not because he's lost, it's because he's loading. He's rebuilding brick by brutal brick, not for show, not for applause, but for power. See, when you're out there constantly trying to prove yourself to people who already made up their minds, you waste the very fuel you need to grow. But when you step back, disappear from their timelines, their opinions, their noise, you finally hear the sound that matters, your own voice. And in that silence, something dangerous begins to grow. You remember what you were before the world told you who to be. You reconnect with the fire that school, society, and pressure tried to smother. You realize you don't need permission anymore. You don't need validation, likes, or friendly nods. You need war mode. You disappear because you're done playing the game by their rules. You're not a follower in their parade. You're building a new kingdom from scratch. While they party, you plan. While they gossip, you grind. While they sleep peacefully in delusion, you stay awake, forging steel inside your soul. And when the time comes, you don't return the same. You don't smile the same. You don't even walk the same. Your silence gave birth to a version of you that's colder, cleaner, and untouchable. And when you come back, the people who once overlooked you will stare in disbelief. They'll ask where you've been like they cared, but they never did. They didn't see the nights you cried into your own hands. They didn't see the meals you skipped to chase your goals. They didn't hear the battles inside your head when you were fighting every voice that told you to quit. But you didn't quit. You vanished. You rebuilt. You trained your mind, hardened your spirit, and came back like a storm no one predicted. Because disappearing wasn't running away. It was setting the stage for domination. And now, you don't just want a piece. You're here for everything. You don't knock anymore. You kick down the doors. You don't fit in rooms. You own them. And the best part? They never saw it coming. That's the art of silence. That's what happens when you stop begging to be seen and start preparing to be unforgettable. This world doesn't reward noise. It rewards impact. So disappear, not to be missed, but to be remembered forever when you return. They gave you a script the day you were born. Go to school, stay in line, follow the rules, get a safe job, keep your head down, and never ask for more than you're given. That was the blueprint. That was the cage. And for a while, you probably believed in it, didn't you? Believed that if you followed their path, you'd find your purpose. But deep down, something inside you always screamed louder than that lie. Something inside you knew. You weren't built for that kind of small. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't born to crawl just because it's safer than flying. And now the king is back, and he didn't return with that worn-out blueprint in his hand. He brought a match, because the old path was never yours, it was theirs. And to live a life that's truly yours, you've got to burn that map and walk your own. You've got to stop living by their expectations and start living by your own explosion. That fire in your chest, that's your truth begging to be released. You can't build an empire using instructions made for a cage. You can't chase greatness while dragging dead dreams behind you. So you burn it all. The fear, the doubt, the should-have-beens, and the can't-do-its. You burn the idea that success has to look a certain way or come at a certain time. You burn the pressure to be perfect, to be nice, to stay small. Because this time, you're not asking how to live, you're deciding it. You're not following the path, you're forging one with every step. And yes, it's harder. Yes, it's terrifying. But it's yours. Every scar will be earned. Every win will be built by your bare hands. And when they look at your life years from now, they'll say, "How did he do it?" And the truth will burn in your eyes. I stopped waiting. I started burning. That's how kings are made. Not by playing it safe. Not by waiting their turn. But by tearing the blueprint in half and saying, "I'll draw my own." So burn it. Burn the lies they sold you. Burn the labels they gave you. Burn the doubt that crept in when things got hard. You weren't made to fit. You were made to ignite. And the world isn't ready for the fire you're about to bring. There's a version of you still living in the shadows of who you used to be. A version that keeps whispering lies every time you try to grow, every time you dare to want more. That version is afraid of failing, of standing out, of being judged. And that version is dragging your future into the grave. If you want to rise, if you want to take everything, you have to make a brutal decision. You've got to kill the old you, not silence it, not negotiate with it. Kill it, rip it out, burn it down without mercy, because that soft, scared, slow version of you was built by fear, by comfort, by other people's opinions. And if you let it live, it will poison every step you try to take. The old you says, "Stay safe." The new you says, "Take the risk." The old you says, "What if they laugh?" The new you says, "Let them choke on my success." The old you was built in survival mode, always shrinking, always doubting, always hesitating. But now you've seen too much. You've suffered too much. You've tasted the hunger of being overlooked, and that taste doesn't leave. It fuels, it burns. So you sharpen your soul, and you bury the weak parts of you, like a warrior saying goodbye to the weight that held him back. Because the next level of your life doesn't want your excuses. It wants your execution. It wants the savage, the focused, the unstoppable version. The one who doesn't break under pressure, the one who rises from betrayal, the one who doesn't need to be told he's enough because he knows. You don't owe anything to the old you. That version got you here, sure, but it can't take you any further. It's scared of heights and you're climbing now. It's scared of fire and you've become it. It's scared of losing people, but you've learned that losing people is part of gaining yourself. So kill that version, the one that overthinks, the one that apologizes for existing, the one that waits for signs. And when you do, when you bury it with no eulogy, no second thoughts, you'll feel something snap inside you. That's your rebirth. That's the king re-emerging, unchained, unfiltered, unapologetically dangerous. You're not trying to be who you were anymore. That version is gone. And what's coming now? It's louder, it's smarter, it's colder, it's built from everything you were told to hide. The world wants the old you to stay alive because they could control that version. But this new you, they won't even see it coming. And by the time they do, it'll be too late. They tried to chain you to your pain, didn't they? Told you to bury it, ignore it, pretend it didn't hurt. They wanted your pain to become your prison, your cage, the thing that keeps you small and silent. But you flipped the script. You looked pain in the eyes and said, "You will not destroy me. You will build me." Because pain is not a curse. It's a key. Every time you were crushed, betrayed, humiliated, overlooked, something in you cracked, and through that crack, your real fire started leaking out. You didn't collapse, you didn't crumble, you transformed. You turned heartbreak into hunger, loss into lightning, and silence into the kind of roar that makes the world shake. That pain, that was your training ground. While others let it paralyze them, you let it weaponize you. That's why you don't walk like them anymore. That's why your eyes carry weight. Because there's history in your hurt. There's war behind your calm. You've been through things no one saw, and now that pain runs in your blood, not as poison, but as power. You're not soft anymore. You don't flinch. You don't second guess your worth because you've already bled for it. And now, every scar on your skin is a signal, a warning, a reminder that nothing they throw at you will ever match what you've already survived. Pain didn't destroy you, it introduced you to your true self. The version of you that doesn't break. The version that keeps going even when everything inside says stop. You've walked through hell and came out with a grin. You've been burned and still stood tall in the smoke. That's not weakness. That's dominance. They look at you and see a person. You look in the mirror and see a weapon. Pain didn't cage you. It carved you, refined you, forged you into something they can't predict, can't copy, can't kill. And that's the secret. They'll never understand. Pain doesn't hold you back. It drives you. It puts your back against the wall and says, "Now prove them wrong." And you do, again and again, without apology, without fear, with nothing but fire in your step and thunder in your chest. You don't run from pain. You invite it, because every time it knocks, you answer not with tears, but with transformation. So let them bring the pain. Let them throw the worst they have. You'll take it. You'll twist it. You'll wear it like armor, because you're not just built to survive pain, you're built to own it. And the king. The king is back, covered in scars, smiling like a savage and taking everything. The king is back, covered in scars, smiling like a savage and taking everything. They counted you out before the race even began. They counted you out before the race even began. They looked at you and saw limits, flaws, failure waiting to happen. They laughed when you dreamed, rolled their eyes when you spoke with fire, and threw shadows over every light you tried to spark. They told you, sometimes with words, sometimes with silence, that you weren't enough. Not smart enough, not strong enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. And maybe for a moment, you believed them. Maybe you sat there staring at your reflection, wondering if they were right. But something inside you never died. It just went quiet, waiting. And now that quiet voice is a war cry. Now the king has returned. And this time, he's not asking for chances. He's taking everything they said he couldn't have. Every room they told you you'd never belong in. You're kicking the door off the hinges. Every dream they said was too big, too wild, too far. You're chasing it with a hunger they could never fake. Because you're not just showing up to prove them wrong. You're showing up to remind yourself who you are. You were never average. You were never meant to follow. You were never meant to be another background name in someone else's story. You were built for the front lines. You were born to be unforgettable. And now you're collecting everything they tried to bury. Every goal, every win, every throne they swore would never be yours. You're taking it back piece by piece, louder, faster, harder than they can handle. And the beauty of it, you're doing it with no hate in your heart, just power in your steps. You're not here to hurt them. You're here to haunt them, because the best revenge isn't destruction. The best revenge is domination. You're not coming for a piece of the pie. You're coming for the table. You're not satisfied with crumbs. They fed you crumbs for too long. You want it all. And this time, you're not leaving without it. No more hesitation. No more shrinking. No more hoping for their approval. You've seen what happens when you believe in yourself fully. You've tasted what it feels like to be your own storm. And now you're unstoppable. You're walking through doors that were never open for you because you broke them down. You're taking roles, taking space, taking names, and turning every doubt they threw at you into fuel for your rise. Let them talk. Let them whisper. Let them watch, taking space, taking names, and turning every doubt they threw at you into fuel for your rise. Let them talk. Let them whisper. Let them watch. You're not coming back to explain. You're coming back to own. The king is back. And he's not leaving with less than everything they swore he'd never touch. So now you know he's not the same. He's not softer. He's not slower. He's my you know. He's not the same. He's not softer. He's not slower. He's back, built from the silence, fueled by the scars, and locked in on everything they tried to keep from him. No more waiting. No more asking. No more limits. The king's back, and he ain't leaving with less than everything. If this lit a fire in you, then you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe to Twist Mind, because this is just the beginning.